Strengthening privacy, accountability, and security. That's the new focus license plate reading camera giant Flock announced this morning. The company's faced mounting scrutiny for blanketing public rights of way and even private property with advanced ALPR cameras, and for how local law enforcement have used and in some cases abused that data. There's also growing alarm over the security of Flock's massive license plate database itself. On Wednesday, here on the States, a West Virginia state delegate voiced those exact concerns about the risk of a security breach. Now, this morning, through a public relations firm, Flock said it's taking concrete steps to answer the rising chorus of criticism over mass surveillance and the potential for abuse and misuse. Here's produced video provided to the center square of Flock CEO Garrett Langley.
Last month alone, we helped detect over 1,000 missing people, over 20,000 stolen cars. We've realized our responsibility and our opportunity to set a new standard for safety and privacy has grown with it. And so for us, this is an evolution. These changes, like I said, are the next chapter of a long book I hope to write on how we build a better version of America that's both safer, protects our privacy, and holds those who have power accountable.
Now, one change that Flock is making is retention. Previously, Flock recommended keeping license plate data for 30 days. That window is now being cut to 7 days. Now, for the cases that legitimately need more time, the company is introducing evidence mode, and that's where detectives can lock specific ALPR hits into cold storage as evidence in an active investigation, consistent with existing laws and policies. But Langley stressed that Flock has always believed in local control, so the systems remain customizable.
Cities should have a choice. But what I've also realized is that cities rely on us as the expert for what we think is best. As we looked at the data, what we saw is that about 90% of investigative searches happen within 7 days. So will it solve less crime? It will. And I would encourage local officials to still make decisions that they think match their local needs. But as a business, we think 7 days is that new standard.
So cities will now be able to decide exactly which categories of offenses other agencies can search against their cameras. For example, City A could permit City B to query its network only for stolen vehicles, missing persons, or violent crime, while blocking any searches tied to an immigration enforcement, as an example. Now, Flock says this gives communities tighter control over data sharing without killing legitimate collaboration amongst law enforcement agencies. Accountability is something else Flock says is getting an upgrade too. Langley said the company is strengthening its audit assistance program to produce better, more usable audit logs.
We are finding bad cops and holding them accountable. And about a third of our customers optionally adopted it over the last 4 months. We think now is the right time to say, look, this should be required. And I would challenge state regulators to make this a law for all police technology, to have this level of accountability so we can curb police abuse.
Now, every law enforcement customer, Flock says, will be required to adopt the improved audit tools by the end of the year. On top of that, Flock is adding proactive lockouts when a user's activity trips defined thresholds for abnormal behavior. The system, it'll automatically suspend access for that user until an administrator reviews it. Now, the goal of all of this, Flock says, is to stop misuse before it becomes habitual or widespread. And on the security front, Flock says it's committed to running the strongest program in the industry. This year, it says it brought in independent security firm Bishop Fox for a full review of its product capabilities and a summary of those findings and the company's remediations, all expected to be published later on this year. Will these moves quiet the criticism over Flock's nationwide surveillance network? Time will tell.